What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some shocking information that came out from undefeated lightweight, junior welterweight, Mexican superstar title contender, King Ryan Garcia, ahead of his highly anticipated showdown with undefeated three-division world champion, who formerly held the WBA super title at super featherweight, WBA regular title at lightweight, WBA regular title at junior welterweight, superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, who is 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 26 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. With that said, Ryan Garcia himself is 23 wins, no losses, no draw, 19 wins by way of knockout. He is 24 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. They're scheduled to face off against one another April 15th, Las Vegas, Nevada. Ryan Garcia states at the T-Mobile Arena or at the MGM Grand for sure. But Ryan Garcia stated that they had an agreement in place from their negotiations in October. And Ryan Garcia was told that the fight wasn't going to happen until 2023. And Gervonta Tank Davis, he was going to have a tune-up or a stay busy fight, which came this past Saturday, January 7th, against undefeated WBA super featherweight world champion Dominican star boxer Hector Garcia. Okay, so Gervonta Tank Davis faced off against Hector Garcia, who was 16 wins, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, 5'9" with a 67-inch arm reach, this past Saturday in Washington, D.C. So Ryan Garcia, he announced that he himself was going to have another fight, a stay busy fight, to keep the momentum, as he said, and his fight was scheduled for January 28th. But Ryan Garcia, shockingly, reveals that in his negotiations with the PBC, he was told that if he had another fight before fighting Gervonta Tank Davis, he said they was adamant that they would not fight him. If he had another fight before he fought Gervonta Tank Davis, they were adamant that they would not fight Ryan Garcia. Okay? Listen to what he had to say.
Fight in October of 2022 to get keep the momentum going. I had just fought in July, and I said, I'm going to fight in October, and they told me, they were very adamant, we're not going to fight you if you take that fight in December. And I was like, wow, okay. I promised fans that I'm going to do this, and if I can't take a tune-up before that, or not a tune-up, but if I can't keep active, then whatever, I'm going to just go and fight Tank. All of a sudden, he don't want to fight in December, and then I'm like, all right, let's fight in January. He agrees to that. Then he says he needs a tune-up in January. Then he said, originally it was at a certain weight, and all of a sudden, can't be at that weight. Oh. So all these things I've had to do, and I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to fight in January. I'm not going to go.
So as you can hear, he's saying that they told him that the fight was possibly going to be in December. So he said that he wanted to keep the momentum going. And then they changed the date. They said that, well, now the date is going to be in January. So he wanted to say he's saying he wanted to keep the momentum going to allow himself, to stay fresh, stay active, and stay sharp. And they continued to change the date and move the times, right? We've heard this before, because this is the same thing that undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who's widely considered to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terrence Bud Crawford, while he was negotiating the fight to face off against his biggest rival, an undefeated unified three-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion, superstar boxer who is widely considered to be top 2, if not #1, definitely top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and Earl the Truth Spence Jr. Okay, so Terrence Crawford, he stated that he was asking for certain things, and they was moving the dates and moving the negotiations, and he wanted to see transparency. He told them that he wanted to fight this year, okay, and they told him They were going to look to make the fight with Errol, but then they came back and it looked like they was trying to make the fight for 2023. Now, this is two separate negotiations. This is Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia and Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. But Ryan Garcia and Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford are saying the same things, right? That they telling him if he don't fight, if he takes a tune-up or fights anybody else, they're not going to fight him. Why? If Ryan Garcia wanted to get another fight in before fighting Tank and he had no plans, you guys had no plans to make the fight with Tank happen in December or in January, then why couldn't Ryan Garcia fight and stay active and stay busy? That doesn't add up, right? That doesn't make sense. Let's listen again.
Big risk. I thought that it didn't make sense to do. I wanted to fight in October of 2022 to keep the momentum going. I had just fought in July, and I said,
So he said I wanted to fight in October of 2022. Terrence Crawford said that he wanted to stay active in 2022. So Ryan is saying he wanted to fight in October to stay active because they told him he was possibly going to fight in January, right? That it wasn't going to happen in December, it was going to happen in January. So he wanted to stay active and fight in October. And they listen to what he says.
I'm going to fight in October, and they told me, they were very adamant, we're not going to fight you if you take that fight in December. And I was like,
we're not going to fight you if you take that fight in December, right? So he couldn't fight in October. He can't fight in December, but Tank is fighting in January. And they're not fighting now till April.
Like, wow, okay. I promised fans that I'm going to do this, and if I can't take a tune-up before that, or not a tune-up, but if I can't keep active, then whatever, I'm going to just go and fight Tank. All of a sudden, he don't want...
He said, if I can't have a tune-up, I already promised the fans and I promised everybody that I was going to do this, so I'm doing it. I don't understand if Ryan Garcia wanted to have a tune-up fight and stay busy and stay sharp, and him and Tank wasn't fighting until 2023. Now they moved it back to April of 2023, but they allowed Gervonta Tank Davis to have a fight, a stay active fight. Why couldn't Ryan Garcia? And this just goes to show, if they were going to do the same thing with Terrence Crawford, why couldn't Terrence Crawford stay active? So now, instead of Errol Spence negotiating a fight right now for Terrence Crawford for his next fight, he's going to move up to 154 and fight Keith Thurman for a non-title fight at a whole different division. Opposed to negotiating with Terrence Crawford right now to make the fight happen in 2023, seeing as though it wasn't going to happen in 2022 anyway. It wasn't going to happen in 2022. So he's making it abundantly clear that if you don't follow their rules, they're not going to entertain fighting you. So Ryan Garcia, he sat on the shelf. He was supposed to fight January 28th. Hence the reason why Oscar De La Hoya wasn't happy with this decision. But Oscar De La Hoya, he knew that he was going against the grain. So Oscar De La Hoya wasn't happy because this decision, Oscar De La Hoya understands that this came from the PBC side. That's why Oscar De La Hoya was adamant about telling Ryan Garcia to go ahead and fight. Because Oscar De La Hoya, he feels slighted. And then in this same conversation, Ryan Garcia gets asked, how do you feel that Tank Davis was able to get another check, another payday, and you're sitting on the shelf? And so Ryan Garcia says, he gets his endorsements. He makes money in other avenues and other ventures. So he's not worrying about it. It's just worrying about being great within the sport of boxing. When asked, how do you feel about Tank getting another paycheck and you sitting on the shelf? Why couldn't Ryan Garcia get another fight in? Why would they tell Ryan Garcia, if you have another fight, we're not going to entertain fighting you? Why would that be the case? To simply control his career. That doesn't make sense. Ryan Garcia has a fan base as well. Ryan Garcia needs to stay sharp as well. I can see if they say, well, Ryan, we don't want you to fight another major name because you run the risk of losing and we run the risk of not having this big fight. But if he wanted to stay sharp and have a tune-up fight, Tank Davis ain't take a tune-up fight. Hector Garcia is not a tune-up fight. He's an undefeated champion who's coming off of two of the biggest wins in his career as a southpaw and bigger than Tank Davis, and he's an Olympian. And he did great in the fight until he didn't. So why couldn't Ryan Garcia have another fight? When they knew, see, they were icing Ryan Garcia. He fought in July. He's not fighting again till April. That's 9 months Ryan Garcia's out the ring. And Terrence Crawford fought November 2021. He wanted to get another fight in before 2022 was over. And they told him he wasn't going to fight until 2023. So as Ryan Garcia is saying, the dates continued to change. First it was January, then it was February, now it's April. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like your shitty videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.